If you keep waking up between 3 and 5 in the morning, your body is not broken, it is busy. In those 2 quiet hours, after the age of 60, more happens inside you than at almost any other time of the night. Your hormones shift, your liver works, your blood changes, your heart enters the most demanding window of its entire day, and the exact moment your eyes open in the dark may be telling you which one of these needs your attention. Most people treat that waking as a nuisance, something to fight, something to blame on a full bladder or a bad mattress or the simple bad luck of getting older, but the truth is stranger and far more useful than that. The hour you wake is not random. It is a message written in the language of your own biology, and once you learn to read it, the middle of the night stops being a battle and becomes a kind of report on how the machine of your body is running. Before we go any further, one honest word. What you're about to hear is information, not a diagnosis, and it is never a substitute for your own doctor. If you ever wake in the night with pain or pressure in your chest, with a tightness that spreads into your arm or your jaw, or with the frightening sense that you cannot pull in a full breath, do not wait for the morning and do not sit and listen to a video. Call for help right away. For everything else, for the ordinary early waking that so many people past 60 know so well, stay with me because there is a great deal here worth understanding, and almost none of it is cause for fear. Let us start with the clock you cannot see. Deep inside your brain, in a small cluster of cells behind your eyes, sits your master clock. Doctors call it the suprachiasmatic nucleus, but you can simply think of it as the conductor of an orchestra. It keeps time for nearly every organ you have, telling your body when to release its hormones, when to lower your temperature, when to rest, and when to rise. For most of your life, this conductor kept a steady beat, roughly 24 hours long, gently corrected each day by sunlight and darkness. But here is what almost no one tells you. As the years pass, and especially after 60, that clock begins to run a little fast. The signal grows weaker. The rhythm creeps forward. Your body starts to feel sleepy earlier in the evening, and just as surely, it starts to wake earlier in the morning. Doctors call this a phase advance, and it is one of the most common and least understood changes of later life. You are not failing at sleep. Your internal clock has simply shifted its whole schedule forward, and your waking at 4 in the morning is that shift made visible. And here is the quiet trap inside it. Many people over 60 are actually getting a healthy amount of sleep. The problem is not the quantity, it is the timing. Their body wants lights out at 9 and eyes open at 4, but their old habits still say bed at 11, so they lie awake in the dark feeling cheated, convinced something has gone wrong, when in truth their clock has simply moved on without telling them. Understanding that single fact can lift a surprising weight from your shoulders because it turns a frightening malfunction back into a normal and manageable shift. Now lay the second change on top of the first, because your temperature is falling. Few people realize that the body runs warmer and cooler across the day and night in a slow and predictable wave. You are at your warmest in the late afternoon and early evening, and you sink to your very coldest in the last stretch of the night, often somewhere around 4 in the morning. That drop is not an accident. A cooling body is part of how you fall asleep and stay asleep in the first place. But at the bottom of that curve, at the coldest and quietest point of the night, your sleep is at its lightest and most fragile. At the same time, the melatonin that helped carry you into sleep hours earlier has been fading for a while now, so you arrive at 4 in the morning cold, lightly asleep, and low on the very hormone that keeps your eyes closed. It takes almost nothing to tip you awake. A sound, a dream, a shift in the sheets, and suddenly you are lying there, wide-eyed, staring at the ceiling, and then comes the hormone that does the real waking. In the second half of the night, long before any alarm, your body begins to raise its level of cortisol. Cortisol carries a bad reputation as the stress hormone, but in the early morning it is doing something helpful and entirely natural. It is preparing you to get up. It lifts your blood sugar, sharpens your mind, and readies your muscles for the day ahead, climbing to a peak in the first hour or so after you wake. In a calm and rested person, this rise is smooth and goes completely unnoticed, but in a person who lives under a heavy load of stress or worry, cortisol does not wait politely for the morning. It climbs too early and too steeply, and it can pull you out of sleep with your heart already going and your mind already racing through every problem you own. If you have ever woken at 3:30 feeling instantly, uncomfortably alert, as though someone had flipped a switch inside you, then you have felt an early surge of cortisol firsthand. It is not a character flaw, and it is not weakness. It is a stress response that has simply arrived ahead of schedule, and there is a cruel little loop hidden in it. The early cortisol wakes you, your mind starts turning over worries, and that worrying pushes even more cortisol into your blood, which keeps you awake even longer. This is why so many people find that their darkest and most anxious thoughts come at 4 in the morning and then dissolve completely by breakfast. The thoughts are not wiser at that hour, hour, they are simply riding a wave of hormones. Knowing that can help you loosen their grip because you learn to say to yourself that this is chemistry, not prophecy, and that the morning will look different once the light returns. While your hormones are shifting, your liver is quietly at work. Through the long fast of the night, your body still needs fuel to keep the brain thinking and the heart beating, so your liver releases stored sugar into your blood in a process called gluconeogenesis. In a healthy system, this is seamless, and you sleep straight through it without a clue. But in a person whose blood sugar is already unsteady, someone with insulin resistance, someone in the early stages of diabetes, or someone taking certain medications, this nightly release can swing too high or fall too low, and when it does, the body reacts. You may wake up strangely hungry, or damp with sweat, or with your heart beating faster than it should for someone lying still in a dark room. Many people spend years blaming these nights on bad dreams or a warm bedroom, never once realizing that the real story is being written in their blood sugar hour by hour while they sleep. Now we come to the part of the night that matters most, and I want you to hear it clearly and without fear. The first hours of the morning are the most demanding window your heart faces in the entire day. This is one of the best documented patterns in all of medicine, and it deserves calm attention rather than alarm. Think about what is happening all at once in those early hours. Your cortisol is climbing, your blood after a long night without water is a little thicker and stickier than it is during the day. And in the moment when you sit up and rise from the bed, your blood pressure and your heart rate surge upward to get you moving. Each of these on its own is normal and harmless, but together, arriving in the same short window, they place more strain on the heart and the vessels than at any other time of day, which is why doctors have long known that heart events tend to cluster in the morning hours. I am not telling you this to frighten you. I am telling you the very opposite. Knowing this pattern is exactly what allows you to protect yourself. It is the reason that treating your blood pressure, sleeping well, staying hydrated, and rising gently rather than leaping out of bed all genuinely matter. Your early waking is not a warning of doom. It is an invitation to take the quiet work of your heart seriously and to have the ordinary, unhurried conversations with your doctor that keep that morning window calm. And there is one small habit worth carrying with you. When you do wake and decide to get up, do not spring to your feet. Sit for a moment on the edge of the bed. Let your body catch up with the change. Keep a glass of water within reach so the long night without fluid does not leave you dry. These are tiny gestures and they cost you nothing, but they are exactly the kind of gentle respect that a heart in its most demanding hour deserves. There is one more common reason people leave their beds before dawn, and it is worth only a mention here, because it truly deserves a full story of its own. Many people over 60 wake again and again simply to empty the bladder, and it is far too easy to blame that on a single glass of water taken too late in the evening. The real causes run much deeper, and they are different for men and for women. In men, the prostate often plays the leading role. In women, the pelvic floor and the bladder itself have their own aging story to tell, and in both, the heart and the blood sugar can quietly be driving those nightly trips as well. It is the single most common thing that pulls an older person out of bed in the dark, and it is almost never just the water. But that is a subject for the next video, so hold the question in your mind and I will answer it fully very soon. So what actually helps? The good news is that your internal clock, the one that drifted forward with age, can be gently nudged back toward a schedule that suits you, and the tools are far simpler than you might expect. The most powerful of them is light. Getting bright, natural light into your eyes early in the morning, ideally within an hour of waking, sends a strong and clear signal to that master clock behind your eyes and helps anchor your whole rhythm, which over a number of days can ease that too early waking. You need do nothing clever, and no lamp indoors can match it, because outdoor daylight is many times brighter than anything in your living room even on a gray and cloudy day. Just step outside for a few minutes or sit by a bright open window and let the morning reach your eyes. The second tool is your evening meal. Eating a lighter dinner and eating it earlier spares your liver and your blood sugar the burden of a heavy digestion in the middle of the night. The third is your bedroom itself. A room that is cool and truly dark works with your natural drop in temperature rather than against it and helps you stay in deeper sleep through that fragile early hour. The fourth is a matter of what you drink. Alcohol in the evening may make you feel sleepy at first, but it fractures the second half of the night and all but guarantees an early waking, so treat it with real care. And watch your caffeine as well, because as the body ages, it clears coffee more slowly. So an afternoon cup that once did nothing to you can now linger in your blood well into the night and rob you of that deep early sleep without your ever suspecting it. And the last of them, quietly, is the most important of all. Keep a regular schedule. Go to bed and rise at close to the same time every single day, weekends included, because nothing steadies a drifting clock like plain consistency. None of these are dramatic. Every one of them works by speaking the language your body already understands, the language of light, of temperature, of food, and of time. So the next time your eyes open in the dark and the clock reads a little after 3, do not panic. Listen, your body keeps its own schedule, and in those quiet hours, it is telling you the truth it hides during the busy day. The question is only whether you are willing to hear it. Notice how you wake. Notice whether you rise alert and racing, or hungry and warm, or simply needing the bathroom yet again. Each of those is a different sentence in the same nightly report, and each one points towards something you can gently tend to in daylight with patience and with your doctor beside you. The night has never been your enemy. It has only been misread, and the moment you begin to understand its rhythm, the darkness turns from a place of dread into one of the most honest and revealing hours you have. And if the reason you keep leaving your bed is that trip to the bathroom over and over, know that you are very far from alone, because it is the single most common thing that wakes an older body in the night. It is almost never simply the water you drank before bed, and in the next video I